I'm here. I've got my tea. Scran up. Oh, almost fell over. That would not have been a great start. Green screen is up. Hello, hello. Ah! That's how I sit down now. Right. Hopefully the music behind me won't get too loud at any point. It sometimes does. Oh, Zin. She's made a comment about me being drunk on Saturday. That's what that's about. I'm sure you were falling over enough on Saturday. Lol, lol, lol. Let's put this up. I'm glad you're here, Zin, actually, because we can show off your brilliant work. Let's click on here. Alright, oh, the wizard's curtain is broken! No! Is that good? That's good. Perfect. Now you can't see the crack in reality. That's not my arse crack, by the way. And neither's this. This is a new potential ship. And I went, Zin, make a silhouette of this ship. And, you know, and both of us, obviously, minds went to Pokemon. And Zin went, I made this. And I was like, oh, cool. You get a medal, Zin. You get a medal. Yes. So this is going to be a slightly leaky episode. Because we'll talk a bit about the leaks on the 400i. As we can now. Because the sort of imagery and stuff from here has been leaked to various sources. And isn't Evocati leaks. So I can't cover Evocati leaks because I'm an Evocati. Which is a little annoying. But, you know, at the same time, probably reasonably fair. I don't fucking know. Who knows? It looks like a yacht, but it's an Origin ship. And it's sort of like, it's a bit like, you know, between a Cutlass and a Constellation, but luxury. My video that I've just put up about it, I think I said it's probably $190 plus the cost of the rover. They're making it around probably $150 in my opinion. Now, a lot of people are going to say, nah, the Constellations are more than that. I don't think it's got the combat potential that Constellation has. I think it's much more focused on looking pretty. And maybe you'll get luxury tax on it. But if you have it more like than 300 or more dollars, then it's sort of starting to compete with the 600i in my opinion. So the Nomad and the Mercury Star Runner, they're getting their fuel intake or capacity or balance readjusted for 3.12, or all of it. So bear that in mind. They are Guzzly ships at the moment. They're not supposed to be. Or as Guzzly. If anyone would like to ask a question during this live stream, question in brackets, we'll talk a bit about 3.12. We'll talk about a bit about the leaks, and whatever else anyone else sort of wants to talk about. I think it looks like a cool ship. I mean, it's luxury. Do we need it in game? Probably not. Is it nice to have, and does it give a bit more choice? Yeah. Has anyone any idea on how you upgrade the 300 to the 400 would be arranged if you've customized it and bought a coffee machine for it? So, as far as I'm aware, you'd... Oh. No, that's actually broken my brain. Because I was going to say, well, you just pay the difference. But you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't just pay the difference. Because the CCU system wouldn't know how much you paid for that 300 series of ships that you'd customized. I don't know. That's my answer. Melt it and buy this new one. That's going to be annoying if you've got... Well, you'll get lifetime insurance if you buy it. We get lifetime insurance because you'd have to buy it with store credit. So the 400i or 400 series of ships, because it might not just be the 400i, it could be more, appear to be straight to flyable for 3.12. Reality is overrated, Shane Morris. That's true. 100% true. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. Oh, Gawain. Oh, you're a star. That's a lot of money. How do you think the 400i will be a good eye? Do you think... That's actually read what you've said rather than me making up my own words. Hi. Do you think the 400i will be a good mission runner or be able to hold its own in a fight? I think it is being targeted at the smaller crews, so 2 to 3 size crew, because it appears the leaks have said that it's got a captain's quarters and 2 other beds, so that's 3 crewmen and 3 stations, 1 for the rear turret, pilot and co-pilot. So I believe it's sort of like a multi-role mission runner, but it is more focused on high-tech stuff and luxury. So take that as you want to take it. It is the origin solution to a constellation, in my opinion. It's supposed to have room for a G12 rover. I would expect that rover to probably come with the ship, because that means that they can probably charge more for the ship. And it's got room for cargo as well, and it's supposed to have underbelly cargo in the same way that the 300 series has underbelly. It is all speculation at this stage. It is rumours and leaks with the 400i, so yeah, bear that in mind. Leaks, rumours and speculation at this stage. Can it hold a rock? I would expect it could hold a rock instead of the G12. That makes literal sense. This is expected as a straight-to-flyable release for 3.12, yes. Expected according to the leaks. Best guess on when we get to spawn vehicles in our ships. So they talked a little bit about this on the Star Citizen Live. They basically said it's not ready yet. The spawning ships in vehicles in ships is not ready yet. If I keep asking, it will come sooner? Question mark. Much love to you and Zin. Thank you very much, Plastic Death. Much appreciated. And I will take your love. I won't pass it on to Zin. I'll just keep it for myself. Get wrecked, Sin. Thank you very much for the money. Very much appreciated. Yeah, so I'm expecting it with iCache now. So I'm expecting spawning vehicles in ships middle of next year. We know it's a sort of semi-priority for... I did say semi-priority for Star Citizen, for the devs. But... sort of move my head back and forth. But obviously hasn't appeared yet. I want it now. I want it now. Well wishes, Bored and Zin. What are your most anticipated additions to Alpha 3.12? Refining actually does expand the mining gameplay loop quite a bit, for sure. The Idris, actually being able to fight an Idris that's defending space stations, that's actually going to be quite a lot of content there. Oddly, 3.12 does have a reasonable amount of interesting featurage. So I do want to have a look at what the planets look like and have a bit of maybe an analysis of how they've changed a bit. Start on spacescaping. That's basically gas clouds, points of interest, nebula. Some of the space stations and mission areas are going to have these vast gas clouds or be part of them. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Lots of AI updates, but that's largely for getting the Idris in and all the ships being able to intercept torpedoes and things like that. Lots of balance changes, missiles and countermeasure stuff. The cost of actually replenishing all the stuff in your ship. Reputation, cool. That's going to have missions probably tracked better. And the progress saved on them as well. Eventually, reputation system will sort of evolve into guilds and things like that as well. Lots more mission giver stuff. Got lots of tweaks to mining, obviously with refining coming, but also a UI refactor. Pretty stuff for capital ships. Oh, the tractor beams. Tractor beams are probably pretty top tier in there for me. Idris and tractor beams. I'm hoping for a bit of an economy rebalance. I'm expecting to see the new volatile cargoes. I'm quite excited for the Talon. It looks cool, right? Going again. Sounds great. It'll complement my 890 nicely, you monster. as a shuttlecraft and something that doesn't guzzle up too much fuel to take people planetside once docking's in. I'm hoping that the 890 gets better fuel intakes as well, or the ability to be a bit more fuel efficient in general. I know it's supposed to be a luxury ship, and you could go, ha 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 ha, I've just burned money. But the idea of having the 400i as a shuttle is monstrous as well. It is a bit larger. I don't think it's going to be quite constellation-sized, in my opinion. I think they said in one of the leaks, I think it's Aria's leaks, Aria talked about it being 45 to 65 meters long. So why are you looking forward to Reputation V1, Zin? Is that because you don't have to repeatedly do the same quests again and again and again to get footage of the next ones? I haven't asked you to do much in the way of mission stuff yet. I was thinking of getting you to task over the next few days on getting lots of shots of the planet's biomes, because they're going to be changing in 3.12. It might be worth getting some of them now, getting shots of the different areas. I can't wait until the server health's better, so I can stop 30k'ing. That is, I agree. Obviously, we don't want to be in a state where people are crashing out all the time. I mean, it's a nice midpoint for that. They are obviously trying to build a lot of this server tech out and stuff, but when they have a way of saving persistence, so you lose your, you get disconnected, but you can spawn directly back onto your ship, even if the server crashes. Great. I'm not just talking about sort of recovery. I'm talking about a better form of recovery than we have at the moment. I like the idea of Reputation, getting pally with some orgs and enemies and other. Yeah, 100%. With the mission givers and the mission chains, that would be cool. But also actually having factional-based reputation. So maybe some of the pirates in the future don't attack you immediately because they're like, oh, this is one of our dudes. We like him or her or them. Any idea when we might see iCache come online? Middle of next year. Q2, Q3 next year. That's what it looks like at the moment. Can we expect more amazing lore videos from Zing? Zin, your new name is Zing. Yes, you can. She's sort of kind of gonna be doing them under her. She's gonna be automatedly doing them, sort of. Said, find lore, read it. She'll be experimenting with that. I was quite happy with the Rust Society one that she put out on Sunday. That was good. I enjoyed that as well. So. Will the 400i fit in the hangar of an 890 jump? Yes, you should know the details of a leaked ship, because if not, why are we even doing this anymore? I would expect it not to, because I would expect it to be reasonably large, that ship. So I think it is competing with the Constellations rather than the Cutlass Black. But I said anything's possible. It's very unlikely it's going to fit in the 890 jump, you monster. What else have we got? Hey Bored, in the ship leaks video you just posted, you mentioned that water is going to have a lot more gameplay associated with it in the future. Please tell us more on this. So they've talked about various things that we're going to be able to do with water, including swimming. There's buoyancy and stuff for ships. Ships are going to be able to land on it or float on it or something on it. And they wanted to have underwater exploration to an extent. We're not 100% sure all of the plans for water, but we know that there is going to be full wave simulation and things like that as well. So there's a lot going on with that. And they've talked about the potential of being able to mine or otherwise gather some liquids that are on your land. What Shadow PC are you using? So I have access to all of them from Shadow so that I can test stuff. I haven't done much tests recently. However, I am testing something else that might be coming very soon. I'm not sure if it's been announced or not yet, so I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say. There's some cool new Shadow stuff that I'm going to be doing soon. Very soon. Like, within the next couple of weeks. Boost works just fine for Star Citizen. That can be quite long load times when you first load in, I found. Because you are... and when a metric ball ton of stuff's going on, you have only got 12 gigs of RAM. So it can... really, you want 16 gigs of RAM, but with that boost, you've only got 12. It does work fine. You just have to make some concessions with the graphics settings. It's not ideal. Any idea when to expect the Corsair in-game? No, we don't know yet. I would expect it next year, but I don't believe it's in active production, so... What else have we got here? Boots on Mars or permanently persistent universe first? I think we'll see Star Citizen's Persistent Universe come out probably the same year that we have Boots on Mars. Oh man, it being live, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're talking about actual game coming out, being live release, because permanently persistent PU suggests to me that no more resets as well, so it had to be the major live release. I mean, that's a while off. And Mr. Elon Musk is very good at progressing humanity's space racing. Have you seen any info on fixing minables or asteroid spawning in not being mineable? I know that mining and refining has been a huge priority for 3.12. I would expect some of that stuff to be fixed for 3.12. I know you kind of went over this in one of your recent videos, but hearing about the Burning Merchantman getting bigger, it makes me very excited. Do you have a speculation of when we'll see it in game? So it's going through reconcepting, getting some tweaks still. We don't know really until CIG say it's a priority. So there's a huge amount of ships and vehicles. Like I say, there's not actually a huge amount anymore. There's not that many ships and vehicles, but there's a lot of other things that the team can be working on. So it can be ships, it can be vehicles, it can be new stuff, it can be space stations, it can be interiors, it can be environments. So a lot of the people that would build ships also build environments, because like structures and stuff are just, ships just rooms in space, eh? So homesteads are obviously a priority and stuff like that at the moment, and although there's not a huge amount of ships for them to do, there are new ones that they are building, and they don't have all the devs in the world. They only have a certain amount, and some ships are massively prioritized over others. Some are going to take a while to do, because there's a lot of there's a good portion of quite large ships left for them to do and get into the persistent universe. So we don't know what the priorities for CIG are within the next year. And hopefully we'll see a bit of a snapshot of that from the new roadmaps that we're getting by the end of this year. Now, we're not going to get all of the perfectly accurate data as you go out every quarter beyond the proximate quarter. It's going to get less accurate and stuff's going to change and move around more. So sort of bear that in mind. Shane Morris, so you're saying there's a chance? What, a chance of the 400i fitting in the 890? I mean, okay, technically there's got to be a chance. Well, it's either 0% or 100% whether it will fit or not. But at the moment, I don't know what that is, because we don't have it in game. I would say it's a very, very, very low that it's gonna. You're mad. You're mad. Can't believe you're getting me to agree that there is a chance. I mean, there is a chance. It's just unlikely. No, you can't. You're not allowed to call the game a scam when it doesn't fit. Oh man. Oh, thank you very much, Gwen, for becoming a BoredGamer sub as well. Very much appreciated. Not sure why I got so high. Do you think the Talon will go back on sale once it drops in the 3.12 patch? Yes. There'll be a straight to flyable sale with those sort of ships. Are we getting personal tractor beams? Are we getting ship tractor beams too? So in 3.12 we are getting personal tractor beams. Ship tractor beams will be coming later. Do you think there will be new systems other than Pyro on the 4.0 roadmap? No, I think the 4.0 release is going to be mainly server meshing and Pyro, but no other systems. I mean, it's possible they could have other systems built out by then as well, because obviously they are building a new studio. That new Turbulent studio in Montreal is their one of their major focuses is building out star systems and planets for the game. So, because I'm currently expecting Pyro and 4.0 at the end of 2021 now. CIG, please no disappoint me. Do you think CIG will handle the first looks at the talent, whether... Do you think CIG will handle the first looks at the talent, whether in PTU or live, differently than the first people to get to fly it? Oh! So, for people that don't know, there was a bit of a kerfuffle, let's use the term for, with some people being annoyed that streamers and some content creators that didn't have a Mercury Star Runner were given them in first wave PTU, some content creators, so that they could make videos on. Now, I own a Mercury Star Runner. I was Eva Carty and had first wave access and was a content creator. So I was going to get one whatever. So it didn't really... I was going to see it. I was going to be able to use the ship. So that's true with most ships. I want content creators to be able to have access to press accounts that allow us to have access to ships. Because when a content creator wants to use one of these ships to produce content, they have to just go a bit of a faff route, going, has anyone got the ship? Can I borrow it a second? Is that a right? Or get CIG to spawn it in for them if someone on the servers from CIG maybe, question mark. So it's just a bit of a ball ache. It just makes them have to go through an extra leap. Now, you can talk about fairness and all that sort of stuff all day long, but I think it's nice for CIG to treat their content creators well. And as long as it's not taking the piss out of the community. I mean, yes, so you definitely could make the argument that people that purchased a Mercury Star Runner during concept, they purchased it to get access to it at the earliest possible stage that you could have access to it. However, in the PTU phase, only some people even had access to the Wave 1 PTU. So it's... And it was only like 2 days. They got access to it 2 days. So, I don't think you can please everyone all the time. I see things differently because I am a content creator, and I suppose I'm not chomping at the bit or like, this is really unfair that I don't have access to this. But I probably would be if I say the Idris comes out and I don't have an Idris, you know? If a load of other content creators got access to the Idris and I didn't, I would be upset. So, I don't know. That's my thought process there. Do I think they'll handle it differently? No, I think they just keep on doing the same thing. I think it's fine what they've been doing, personally. I would like press accounts for content creators. At least you can apply for a press account, and then you're not having those ships on your account. You get access to that press account at certain times to be able to make content. Cool. It's not your account, though, so you haven't been given those ships. Do you see what I mean? Throwing some love board. Oh, thank you very much, Jack Corp. Thank you very much for the love. Is it Jack Corpay or Jack Corp? Jack Corpa. Thanks for all you do, keeping us informed. It's appreciated. Thank you very much for the money. I've appreciated for watching as well. Thank you. You're a newish name that I've not seen before as well. Shane Morris, you monster, chucking loads of money at me. Can you parasite the 400i to the Connie? No. I mean, no. I would say I'm a betting man. I don't think that will be a thing. However, docking port to docking port in the future, that will be a thing. A muddy rambler. A muddy ramber? A muddy ramber. Oh. Thanks for the sub. Your name hurt my head for some reason. Literally caused me pain. Oh, thank you so much for all the donations. Very much appreciated. The super chats and stuff I will chuck up on the... I'll add to the donation goal. Because what I want to do is next year, hopefully out of lockdown, I want to do an office tour to CIG, which hopefully Xylo or Off or someone will be able to sort me out with. And maybe at the same time, maybe not at the same time, depending on what's sensible. I want to do a bit of a big Bar Citizen event with a pub quiz, a Star Citizen themed pub quiz, and some stuff throughout the day. Super chill at a pub, get a load of CIG devs down, get them plastered and ask them questions. Boom. Maybe a little panel there as well. Something pretty chill. So halfway between a Bar Citizen and BritishCon. It's the idea. Because if I'm doing it, I want it to be incredibly low effort. Because I am low effort gamer. Entity 404, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Star. Loads of people have been subbing recently. That's fantastic. Because it makes me feel like it was a good decision employing Zin, who can now start to get better and better and better at doing editing and making my videos look better, but also we'll start to be doing a lot more content together and hopefully get shots one day comparable to that of the Morphologist. He is going to be forever my nemesis of me looking at it and going, how does he do this? How does he make it look so good? Star Citizen looks good, but he's like getting these shots that are impossible to get. He cheats. Axe. He's a hacker. Oh, it's not. That was an unfounded accusation. What else have we got here? What is CIG stance on non-commercial printing of ship models on home printers? I think they're sort of okay you doing it for your own personal use, as long as you don't share the models, the STLs. I think that's fine. It's worth contacting customer service, because you'll notice that lots of people that print those models and then paint them, they'll get featured on like on the spotlight stuff on the hub. But I don't think they'd be happy if you were selling those ships. I don't think they'd be happy if you were sharing those STLs. And obviously, JR Fabrication literally produce Star Citizen licensed versions of those kits and printed ships. So, do you think the captain's suite in the 400i will have a private bathroom? That's a deal breaker. I believe, from what I heard, it was a shared bathroom between them all. Thank you very much. Looks Jai. Thanks very much. Appreciate the hustle, the sub. Thank you. Oh, you can. The auto mod held the word bitching. Wow. Classy Enigma. It's a bit mean. Not sure why. The auto mod's really sensitive today. I'm sorry. I apologise for its oversensitivity. What's a good way of explaining Star Citizen's development time to people who don't follow the game's progress? Star Citizen's development time is incredibly slow. They don't have a publisher. They are self-publishing. It is a unique project where they are building a playable-ish game while they go, and they specifically are going to be taking a long time. Make sure that anyone that it gets involved with Star Citizen as a project and wants to play it or whatever is fully aware of that. It is playable now, and you can have a lot of fun now, but it is going to be a long time before it is out. And some people will be like, too many red flags because of that. Or some people will be like, I want to play a game now. Why would I want to wait? I'll just buy it when I wait. That is totally fine. That is totally reasonable as a way to think of Star Citizen. It's cool as a tourist destination as well. Like if I was buying Christmas presents, I'd buy people Star Citizen things because I go, look at this. It's a really cool project and a really cool idea, and it's actually getting some flesh on its bones. But it's going to be 4 or 5 years before it's sort of out. Well, Christy, are there any details or images of the X-47 Parasite ship for the 400i? What? There is. I don't think. Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing. You making stuff? Is this a reference to something? No, there's no Parasite ship. It's just got room. So from the leaks, it's just got room for a G12 rover. Is what I thought. I'm so sick of 400i questions. Well, I'm sorry, but people can ask them. As long as you're not sick of the answers for them. Dio, thank you very much. Give me a Garrick. Lamau joke. Love your videos. Very much appreciated. And thank you for the money. Thank you for the money for both of you. Very much appreciated. 3 stars. Thank you. Is it possible to re-summarize the 400i info for those that just missed it? Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go over the 400i in about half an hour or so again. one more time. So I think that's probably quite a good idea, rather than keep on going over it loads and loads and loads and loads. Although any specific questions about the ship, I'll try and answer as much as we can. Thank you very much for signing up, becoming a BoredGamer. Dio. I think that's how you have to pronounce your name, all in caps. Do you think the captains? Oh, that's we talked about that. Oh. Could the Bounty Merchantman maybe act as a resupply vessel for other large ships on long journeys? So it's the Bounty Merchantman. What we do know about it is it's supposed to have synergy with the Bounty Defender. So some sort of light dock is what we're expecting from that. So it can repair, ram, refuel, or maybe just share quantum fuel, something like that. Now we do know the Bounty Merchantman's got bigger, but it's kept its cargo size. Is it possible that it has a little fuel nozzle? It's possible, but it's not listed anywhere as having one. 3 days till Cyberpunk, yes. Is it 3 days on the 10th? Oh my god. Okay, after Doctor Zin, because streaming. Should we stream Cyberpunk? Stream Cyberpunk? Is that something we're going to do? Michael Foster? If bored, if I ask nicely, will you say my name? Wait, is this... this isn't for like a something with your wife or something, is it? I love it when Bored says my name, sort of thing. No? What if the new RSI ship looks like a gigantic Aurora? Oh my god. It's just a Mega Aurora. Is the image confirmed? Is it a confirmed image? No, it is a leaked image, so not confirmed. For that 400i. Thank you very much. Holston Co-op. Or Holston Coop. I don't know how to say your name. And thank you very much, Deflated Marshmallow, for subbing. Very much appreciated. I don't think the 400i is equipped with a size 9.p. Don't know. Well, as far as I'm aware. Will tractor beams be combined if multiple users attach to the same object? Yes, that is the plan. So multiple tractor beams can be used to pull objects and ships. So someone said, "Does the 400i come with fishing gear?" Because it obviously looks like it's a floaty boat. Now, you joke, but I do think we'll have fishing in Star Citizen Monday. Okay, mark my words. It's an MMO. All MMOs have fishing. I heard those leaked images aren't what the ship looks like. Images used perhaps to flush out leakers. Maybe. But that's possible. I mean, there are leaks for a reason. So it is rumour and speculation. So. Please stop asking difficult questions, Dana. Ask the most difficult ones. Thank you very much. Red rolled. Why can't I say names properly? So I'm dyslexic, and words that I have not seen before, my brain doesn't do well with. Thank you very much, Dio, for even more money. Don't know why you're giving me so much money, but I appreciate it. The Starfarer Stars and Planets bedsheet blanket in the captain's quarters is disturbing, and I want to get rid of it. What level of customization will we see in ships and game? Well, so if you've seen the 300 series of ships, and we'll actually show this on. Let's actually do this for a description. How do we access the 300 series of ships customization page again? Because I cannot remember. Let's go to the pledge store. Let's go to fuel ships, origin, manufacturers, origin jump works. Boop, 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 boop. And let's go to the View specs. View buying options. Customize. Okay, let's bring this up on the screen. So, ships are going to have a good level of customization. And what we're going to have by that? Well, there's two types of customization that CIG have envisioned. There's manufacturer customization. So at time of purchase of the ship, whether that be in game or on the store, whatever, you'll be able to customize your ship as if you got it out of the showroom. Yeah, and there's going to be lots of customization options there. And then there's going to be aftermarket customization, which will allow you to go a lot more wild with probably sort of any sort of paint style and color that you want. I say any, and that there'll be restrictions on that. You're not just going to be able to paint like big willy on your ship or whatever. But it will allow you to do a lot more customization than the manufacturer customization would. So you've got like different colors that you can put on your ship, and expect more of that. Probably decals as well. The name of the ship, the serial number of the ship, all that sort of stuff. But also, you can do loads of interior customization options, even in this one. So you can change all of the interior with different colors, and then you can change your steering wheel to different steering wheels. You can change your seat to a different seat. You have different materials on the ship. Walnut finish. Whatever. Your bedding. So you specifically said the bed. Oh, well, you don't like the sheets. Have different sheets on your bed. So I do expect a huge amount of customization, because one of the other things that CIG are going to want to do is the homestead stuff. And I honestly think if they do the bases right and then have a load of minutia customization for that, then I think players will love that. Now, obviously this stuff can be bought from the website at the moment, and it isn't in game. Well, it is in game, but you can't customize to this degree in game without buying the ship through the store at the moment. You will be able to do it in game though, and you can even have like the different loadouts for the ships and stuff as well, and also have a coffee maker and a food maker and a speaker system and a little frame and a hollow clock and lots of silly stuff. Some of it has function though, like the coffee maker makes coffee. You need that because you'd be thirsty. And you're the food maker. Well, that will make you food, and that's good because nom nom. So yeah, lots of customization coming to ships. Exactly what? We don't 100% know yet. But also, we did find out that early-ish next year, ship modularity is going to start coming online, which is fantastic. I think they said they're starting with the Retaliator as well. So people are like, ooh. Based on current details, if you had to guess a sale price on the 400i, what would you put it at? I put it sort of around-ish $250, assuming it comes with a G12 rover. That would be my expectation. I think it's close to being a Constellation, but it doesn't have the same sort of combat abilities as a Constellation, in my opinion. But again, don't know for sure. It could be vastly more expensive than that. It is just rumour and speculation at this point. For larger ships, do you think we'll be able to stock/restock food and drinks at ship docks and hangars like ammo? Yes, I do. Or do you think we'll have to manually pick up items? I think you'll be able to buy it as cargo. That just makes sense, right? Based on current details, or literally what we just talked about. How do you think player piracy is going to change with personal tractor beams? So, it will allow you to more easily move items across from people's ships. Really, we need updated cargo so that we can actually move individual cargo containers of cargo that's bought from a kiosk, not just mission boxes and individual boxes. So. Will we be able to buy a 400i without the rover? Good question. Don't know. It depends on how CIG are going to do their marketing and sales for it. It's possible. We literally don't know. I mean, we don't know if we'll be able to buy one with a rover. Do you see what I mean? What do we got? What do we got? Oh. What's your thoughts on the banner merchantman getting bigger? Yeah, cool. I mean, it's kept its cargo size, which makes sense. Because it's one of the older ships, the banner merchantman, it made sense that it's going to get a bit bigger as they finished concepting it. Do you think the Star Citizen roadmap will have a final update for the year that adds an eventual 3.14, 3.15, or even 4.0? I think we'll see 3 quarters to a year out. And obviously it gets less accurate the more the roadmap goes out beyond the approximate quarter. So bear that in mind. Statement, hey board, if that leaked pic is of the 400 true to the final look of the ship, that reminds me of the Viper. Oh, from Battlestar Galactica. Okay, a little bit like a Viper, I suppose. C2 Hercules, have you heard anything? Star Citizen leaks. I've been actively, very firmly saying it's 100% or 99% not in 3.12. As I said, it looks much more like it is in Q1 2021 now. That Hercules C2, in my opinion. It's possible there would be a Christmas miracle for Q4, but it would literally be that at this point. It would be more of a miracle than anything else because we haven't had anything more about it. Well, and the fact that they sort of implied that it's not done yet well, actually said it wasn't done yet in the Star Citizen Live recently, so... when can we expect Theatres of War? So, I'm expecting more Evocati testing of Theatres of War when 3.12 comes out. Cooling currently isn't in-game. Do we know what? Okay, so cooling sort of is in-game, but the true resource and pipe system is being worked on at the moment. Ships, and that's the transfer of power, that's the transfer of cooling, that's the transfer of heat and everything in a properly connected manner between relays and components. And those relays and components can all break, it's the idea. Will RTX be used so we are not vampires anymore? What? 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 400 I give away next month, maybe. Maybe. Would you know if the Talon/Strike is still planned for 3.12? It is still planned for 3.12. I believe it's not in an X patch. I believe it is planned to be released with its live build, but anything could happen, I suppose. Yeah, so I think we'll probably stream Cyberpunk, a full playthrough of it. So I've been looking forward to Cyberpunk, and that's going to interrupt my videos. So if I just stream it instead and play it through in a couple of days, I think that's probably a sensible idea. In regards to active development, let's say a ship was not in active development. When is the earliest the ship could be released? So typically ships can take 3 to 9 months when focused on. And it depends on the size of the ship and that ship's pipeline. Do you think Chris will bless us with an updated character creator? Yes. We will get an updated character creator at some point, with lots more heads and lots more ability to change the way your character looks. So regarding the Banner Merchantman, is it true? It's supposed to. They've said from the last time they talked about cargo, they have not changed its cargo size. Thank you for everyone's money. What did you purchase during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? Perseus and some Mercury Star Runners. I was planning, but I forgot to purchase a load of Banner Merchantman upgrades. And I sort of forgot to do that, but meh. Sticky Rubber, thank you very much for subbing. Very much appreciated. New star, thank you. Board predict salvage when? When iCache. I would expect physicalized components, maybe with iCache or maybe the patch just after, and that will have the ability to remove component, put component back in. That's basically salvage and repair. Might flesh it out a little bit more than that. Will they release data to see which ships sold the most during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo event? I'd actually like to see that, but I'm not sure. Do you think the 400i will be able to be soloed? Yeah, probably. So from the leaks, they've said it's got a remote rear turret that one of the stations can have access to, but it's possible you'd be able to use an AI blade in that, so it would semi-automate it. Do you think there are... I can't talk about that, because that is an Evocati thing. If you could use the Force, would you be Jedi or Sith? Also, Merry Christmas, if I don't see you before. Execute. I hope you're doing well, Execute, sir. I watched your 400i leaks before I made my video, obviously, because you're one of the sources for that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. And Merry Christmas to you and yours, mate. By the way, Jedi or Sith? Sith are such emos. I'm generally... I do not like the murder in games. And I'm generally quite nice to people. Even if they're arseholes, so probably Jedi. Ships are missing features they were sold with. Crew thinks the Saber Raven is fine. It's not. Technical blockers aside, when is CIG going to run out of back of faith in unfixed sold ships? I mean, so you're going to see a huge amount of ship balance and change when they have physicalized components, physicalized damage, and then balance stuff. So I think that once CIG are at the stage where they're balancing that, if it is then bad, then some people are going to be annoyed about some ships in a much more reasonable and fair manner. As in, I think it's much more easy to make the argument, look, this ship is broken and trash because you've sold it like this and it's been balanced to be trash. You think some devs should be focusing on bug fixes in Alpha? They do. Like taking a new car for a test drive and the brakes don't work. So they've got vehicle. They've literally got vehicle experience and basically teams that fix bugs and try and stabilize the game, as well as teams that build new stuff. So it's not mutually exclusive. Have you seen the Nomad can fit and fly, deploy, and even jump with an M50 in the back? Can it? It can get the M50 in the back, can it? I didn't know that. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Do you agree with CI alien design, Earth bird choice instead of real alien choice? I'm a bit confused what you mean by that, Riddick. It was just a load of words splodged together that my brain couldn't process. Will 3.12 do anything in the form of fixing some of the 30k errors? There is supposed to be some networking updates and a greater look at some of those things that was causing instability, but we don't know until it's in our hands if it's more or less stable. Hopefully they are moving towards a much more stable version of Star Citizen with less 30ks. Thank you very much. Jagoroshi. I love you, Jag. You're the best. I watch BoredGamer more than... I hope you mean the British Broadcasting Company and not the other thing that BBC could possibly mean. But I'm glad you watch me more than either of those things. Thanks, Jag. Sticky Rubber, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Oh, you stars. Loads and loads and loads of subs recently. It must be because it's near Christmas. All people are bored. Do you think they should have a longer period for people to be able to pledge for certain ships other than the yearly expo? Well, I just want all the ships to be available in-game all the time. And a lot of them are now, of the flyable ships. One of the ways that CIG does its marketing and has been able to fund the game is because of the hype around the marketing of artificial scarcity and the special sale events that everyone gets together and gets hyped about at the same time, and everyone plays again, and it's sort of part of their marketing. It's part of the way they've been able to fund the game. So, do you think Elite Dangerous Odyssey will have any impact on Star Citizen's future development? Yes, but to what extent? That's a good question. So, the very least, Star Citizen will be able to learn do's and don'ts of some of the stuff that Elite Dangerous Odyssey is doing. Star Citizen is going to obviously be a much more slow burn and slower development process, but is going for the stupidly high fidelity and a much more in-depth experience than something like No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, or Eve does. And obviously that first-person FPS style is important to that as well. So I do think it will have an effect. But I think it will just bring more people to the genre, and then there's going to be a larger player base to play Star Citizen when it's finally done. A board is for life, not just for Christmas. That is correct. Big bouncy castles. Yes, that's what BBC means. Board's making a killing off covering this game, so of course he's not going to be upset. But the truth is, his channel would undoubtedly grow exponentially if the game was complete. That is true. The closer the game gets to release, the better for me, because there's going to be more people watching and consuming Star Citizen content. There has been a joy of the game being a slow burn development, and that's been that a lot fewer content creators. There's not as much competition in the content creator field, and it's been enabled me to start as a trash level content creator and get to a level where I'm one of the top Star Citizen content creators. For just general news and stuff, which is lovely because it is beautifully low effort. It just requires research and keep on top of what's going on in the game and the community, and then I can build from there a bit more of a higher effort thing. One of the reasons I've hired Zin is because I want a better looking videos, and I want the channel to grow and the content to be better now that I'm earning a bit more. Bored, do you enjoy people watching you? In what sense? Lamau? Oh. Thank you very much, Skylark, for the sub. Very much appreciated. My family is doing well. Thank you very much. Obviously, my dad is being treated for brain and lung cancer, which has been a bit of an up and down affair emotionally, but he's on an incredibly good targeted therapy, which is done so well for him. I mean, we literally a couple of months ago, we'd lost him, basically what we thought. But this is giving us a load of extra time with him, and hopefully it will give him years. So, but we'll have to wait and see. But we're doing very well at the moment. Can you upgrade a ship with 6 months insurance to a ship with lifetime insurance? So sometimes, Hook, they have ships on sale with special upgrades that allow you to increase the insurance of a ship with an upgrade. Oh, sorry, I'm allergic to my own bullshit. So sometimes, yes, but very rarely. And typically, any times I've seen that are when a new ship comes out, or the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which is the end of November sale every year. So sometimes, yes, but rarely. Any ideas on how we are going to be able to restock ballistic ammo and missiles on hangared ships on capitals? Same as swapping components, or all via automatic menu? That is a good question. We don't 100% know. It might be something that is just handled by crew or semi-automated and just takes a little bit of time after you've gone bam, 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 the reload. It will take this amount of time. BG, you're one-man studio, right? So I was up until really recently, and I've hired a full-time editor now, Zin, who is getting better and better at editing, and we'll be doing lots of content together. That's the idea. What's stopping you from learning some filming and camera move, position and focusing to improve your own shots? Well, that's what we're doing. From what was said in the recent dev show, do you think the MicroStar will get a second entry point? So I think it will have an exit entry point. Yeah, some sort of little hatch with a ladder, almost certainly, at some point. Uh, Bored, in your opinion, do you think it's a rumor of the Endeavour being grown to the size of a Bengal? Oh, so lots of people have said that a lot of people have said that to me. That is the Endeavour growing in size, or they've heard that it's growing in size. I don't know. It makes sense that it might grow in size because some of those older ships, when they white box them out, they build out the rooms and they build out the modules and stuff. They go, actually, it needs to be bigger. So the Endeavour could be much longer now. But I mean, it's just the center bit that's going to be long. It's going to be the center bit that holds all the modules together. So I mean, it's just a spine anyway, right? Do you think a Perseus can protect another Perseus from fighters? Yes. It depends on how many fighters and where they all are. Do you know what I mean? With the Mercury Starrunner, will it be the base ship, or will it be upgraded? What? When in 2021 do you think the Hull C will be released? Q1 2021, that would be my expectation. Do you know what? I put underwear on, yeah, before I start streaming. Typically, I'll just be wearing jammies, no underwear. Yeah, but when I stream, I'm professional. I put underwear on. Where'd you get your B-roll? Me and Zin film it. Although a lot of the more recent stuff is mostly Zin. And some of the other B-roll is grabbed from CIG's videos. Ripped from there and reprocessed. Repackaged. How many rocks could a rock rocks if a rock could rock rocks? Also, what is your favourite pizza? So I like a nice sourdough pizza, and I don't like tomato sauce on my pizza, actually. I like garlic butter. I basically like a garlic pizza, garlic bread monstrosity. It's like chicken, ham. I want pizza now. I might have pizza in a minute. Thanks for that. Is there any ships you could recommend I should buy? Well, anything that you want in-game. You can always recommend that. When you're talking about stuff that you want to buy for real money, there's... All you need is a starter pack, and you can get everything else in-game. However, a lot of people are going to advise you to probably get like an Avenger Titan or something, which is actually a pretty good ship to start with. It's like $20 more than the starter package. Maybe an Avenger Titan, but you're fine with just a Mustang Alpha. Any guess when the RTX 3080, 3090 will be available again? I mean, I'm on a waiting list for mine. Mine should be arriving in the next couple of weeks or so. So it's whenever they resupply and restock. I expect a lot of stocks to get done in January, though. Might the 400i be a data runner to compete with the Mercury Starrunner? I suspect it will have computers on it that could maybe be able to do a minor amount of data running. But I don't expect it will be a data running ship by any means. The new gravity tool looks cool. What are the chances to get something like a Greycat with a more powerful gravity tool fitted to it? So the Greycat Rock sort of has that. It is a gravity tool that moves its that sucks up the minables. So I think that's very possible to have a ground based vehicle with a tractor beam on it. What's your current favourite solo ship for Pew Pew? Still got a lot of love in my heart for the Sabre. What do you think the next alien ship will look like, or when? Xi'an cargo ship? Probably? Question mark? Obviously we know that the Talon and the Shrike are coming out in 3.12. Have they identified specifically why we keep falling through the world and ships? And it's pretty game-breaking, just to put it up with because Alpha. Oh yeah, that is frustrating. It's, I think, a mixture of servatics and physics grids issues. Will CIG ever stop creating new ships? or we have 1,000 different ships in Star Citizen. I think they'll keep creating ships, and they'll probably slow down the progress of creating ships, especially after release. But I still think they'll create more. You think we'll start seeing Vandal raids in 2021? Possibly. Like, I think they are building towards. They'll go from Staten to Pyro, and then they'll build towards the Odin system, and I think we'll start to see Vandal gameplay in there as well. Do you think Star Citizen will have tuner companies that specialise in modifying existing ships for other purposes? Yeah, so there's going to be aftermarket customization, yes. And also, one of the things the Endeavour is supposed to have is the overclocking facility. So there's probably more other facilities for that. Basically, that would tweak components to potentially be better. The Constellation Phoenix was described as having a hidden sensor dampening area for your most precious cargo. Do you think there... Was it the Phoenix that had that, or was that the Taurus? Was that both? Do you think that would be similar to the Mercury Star on a sensor dampened area? Yes, I would expect it to be like that. Yeah, there's issues with the Phoenix at the moment, isn't there? With modularity and customization, how intensely will the different choices have to be tailored to each ship? Sounds like a lot of work per ship. So customization, they basically said that the reason that only the 300i or the 300 series has customization from the website with the manufacturer customization is because it actually takes a long time to set up. So they'd rather get the ships out at the moment and work on that stuff later, potentially. The modularity is obviously modularity per ship, so that will be changing out the rooms in the Caterpillar, changing out the rooms on the first ship. We're going to get modularity for what they've said is early next year is the Retaliator, which is kind of cool because I would expect it to get a little tiny rework as well at the same time, little tiny update. Do you think people will be able to customize their ship through the website if they've already purchased the ship? Yes, I would expect that. I think with the 300 series, for example, you've got a token to customize it. You'd already purchased one. Yes. Does the 400i come with free nose candy? Nice. Space cocaine. Nice. Why do Star Citizen ships... Why does Star Citizen insist on ship skins when I thought we would be able to later customize the paint of our own ships anyway? Yes, that's true. I don't know. I think they wanted it as a step towards customization of ships, but they also went, look, we're going to be effectively selling paints that we've made as well. Okay, cool. It's going to be a choice of pre-made paint or paint your own to an extent. According to the Polaris Q&A, the Polaris has a small medical bay. When you listed the ships with medical bays in the last AMA, you didn't mention the Polaris. Have CIG changed this? I know the Polaris has a medical bay, or is supposed to have a medical bay. I think I said that the Perseus doesn't have a medical bay, was what I actually said. I didn't mention the Polaris having a medical bay or not having a medical bay, because it was relevant because I was talking about the Perseus. I think, maybe, question mark, context. Have you seen the Perseus floor plans? Yes. Will the rooms be modular because a giant crew mess makes no sense? It might have some modularity, but that's not been described or talked about. Hercules C2 looks likely to be Q1 2021 at the moment. Object push and pull, Q1 or Q2, if you were a betting man. So they are trying to push towards Cargo version 2, I assume around the same time as iCache. Object push and pull, obviously they've got the tractor beam for the multi-tool in 3.12, so probably Q1 for push-pull. It's expected that the 400i will be flyable in 3.12, assuming that the leaks are to be believed. Any thoughts on the 400i variants? Yeah, so there's an interesting one. We don't know if there are going to be variants of it. If it's the 400 series could have a 315p, it could have a 415p, a 325A, 425A. God damn it. 435C. It could have those. We don't know. When do you think we'll get Vulcan? I was hoping we'd have it by the end of this year, but I haven't heard anything more on that. So more likely early-ish next year will be the sort of start of the integration of DirectX 12, starting to get phased out for Vulcan. You believe we might get the Burning Merchantman next year? If they focus heavily on it, we could have it at the end of next year, but that doesn't look likely. It looks like we're probably getting the Polaris first. Me and my friends are new to Star Citizen. What's been the average turnaround on ships coming out? We want to see the Corsair release. It's erratic, and changes from year to year. It depends on their current priorities, because we don't know what ships are in the works. I remember Star Citizen Leaks actually saying that there was a new straight-to-flyable ship in 3.13 as well. They don't know what it is yet, and it's not been announced yet. Sem, thank you very much for the sub, Sem. Has there been any indication whether the Origin 400i will have similar customized options to the other Origin ships at time of purchase? I would not expect it to, but there's been no indication. The reason I wouldn't expect it to is because they basically said recently it's hard for them to do that. It takes them a lot of time. Thank you very much, the Pappies. Pappies, thank you for just the money. Appreciate it. Oh, you star, thank you. What are your thoughts on when the Hull C will come out? So, it's so hard to gauge and judge when that ship's going to come out. Because I was expecting it for ages. They talked about it a little bit recently. John Crew was sort of like, oh, it's not done yet. They need to get docking in. They need Cargo 2.0 in. This sort of stuff. So, I'd hope we'd have it in pretty soon after iCache. And I would expect it next year. But I've been burnt so many times with the Hull C. Let's answer these questions, then go back to the 400i. Actually look at the picture and go through what we know about, well, what we've heard from the rumours and leaks about it. How much larger is the Polaris projected to be? Only fractionally larger, the Polaris. When do you think the bug that leaves outside of a ship when you go into quantum will be fixed? Hopefully 3.12. On ship cooling, do we know if there's going to be a coolant flush that may hamper your cooling in the long run, but beneficial in emergencies? So that's a good question. I would expect subcomponents and sub-item consumables in the same way that we've got for the mining consumables, but for other items. So something like that might be a thing. When do you think we will get a point where any concept ships released go straight to flyable and purchasable in game, or are available for pledge on the store? They're trying to put more and more ships in game that are purchasable in game from quarter to quarter. How do they choose best in show ships for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo each year? So they have the ship showdown a few months before, which they literally have people voting on their favourite ships. Show. So this one was started on August 27th for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo winning ships. Basically, they had all these ships go against each other in a popularity vote-off. So people literally voted. 12,000 people voted for the Carrack to win against the Reclaimer, which only got 3,500 votes. And then they do these head-to-heads. So a ship that is incredibly popular could get knocked out in the first round based on how they match them up. So sort of bear that in mind. It's not 100% fair as a representative of the most popular ships. So bear that in mind. Carrack won this time. Do you think they've officially fixed the canopy bug? They said that there should be a fix in for that for 3.12. There's not 100% confirmation from CIG, but that was like, we think we've fixed it. Do you think in the future, after components are physicalized, that we will see multi-tool get attachments to repair components? Yeah, I think we'd see some basic repair functionality as a module from the repair tool. Hey, Board, do you believe that we could see the Banner Merchantman next year? I mean, it's possible, but it's so unlikely. I can't answer that. It's an Eva Carty thing. What's your personal thoughts if iCache gets pushed back to Q4 2021 or later misses its Q2 target? It's not, I mean, I'd be annoyed and upset because I create content on Star Citizen and I'm waiting for more and more of Star Citizen to come out. But I also acknowledge that it is part and parcel of Star Citizen's sort of super long development. I do genuinely believe they are producing a game and will produce a great game eventually. I do think it's going to take a very long time. I'd be annoyed if it was Q4 2021. Did they make any significant leap to fixing missions without bodies to search for crates missing and search bugs with the new reputation system coming? I don't know to the extent of what fixes will be in 3.12 yet. Since the Banner Merchantman has had a price rise in the last sale, do you think it's one step closer? So they've done more concept work on it, and it's increased in size. We know that. Any chance the Banner Merchantman goes over $1,000? I don't think so. I expect it to probably finish at around $600. Would be my expectation. In what state must the game be in, and what features or gameplay loops are required for you to consider it a beta release? For it to be beta, it needs all of its gameplay loops to work and function, but it doesn't need all the gameplay area. Yeah? So it needs functional gameplay loops for everything, but it doesn't need all of the gameplay content. You see what I mean? Well, they're building out gameplay loops going, well, we don't have salvage in, so they need salvage gameplay loop in properly. You see what I mean? Feature complete, but not content complete. With Cyberpunk 2077 set to be released at the end of 2020, yeah, in 3 days, people think, which I'm hoping is correct. What game will people compare Squadron 42 with if Squadron 42 can make a 2021 release? Probably Wing Commander still. Free Space, Wing Commander, that sort of stuff. I mean, Cyberpunk and Star Citizen are not. Well, I say that anything's comparable game, but it's not really the same genre. Cyberpunk is a single player, for the most part, RPG story that I think people more compare to GTA and Deus Ex. GTA crossed with Deus Ex. We'll talk about the 400i in a second. Again, I'm just going to plow through some more questions, and then I will go through what we have heard from the rumours of the 400i again. We'll look at the picture. Any news on Vulkan support yet? So, no, I was hoping they'd have it in for the end of this year, but that's looking less likely now because I haven't heard much more about that. Maybe early 2021 now. And we know it's a big priority for CIG to get that Gen 12 renderer in for them. The Constellation Phoenix was described as having a hidden... we talked about that. At certain angles, with Chris Roberts' head behind you, you look like Gary Oldman from Fifth Element. Thanks. Do you think they will change fuel consumption of the 890 jump? I do in the future, yes. But I think all ships are going to be tweaked anyway. How many total entries are there in your normal monthly giveaway? So, I don't actually know. The reason for that is basically that the way that the winner is chosen, yeah, is that a random number generator effectively is used to go pick one of my videos. Yeah, so video 23 video, 23rd video that I made that month, bam. And then from that, I grab all of the comments, yeah, and then everyone's comment, it doesn't matter if they've made 300 comments on that video, yeah, it would just count their name once, and then it random number generates from that. So typically, it will be like 2,000-ish entries, because it picks one video that will typically have about 2,000, 3,000 comments. Yeah? See what I mean? What's your thoughts on the relationship between the RSI Polaris and the Redeemer? As a Redeemer pilot, I see a lot of similarities. Two-man turrets, too remote. I want to see what the Redeemer looks like with its rework before I answer that question, really. The Redeemer's obviously a lot smaller than the Polaris. Will there be a real-time strategy element in the complete version of Star Citizen? Real-time strategy, the only thing that's real-time strategy-esque is apparently the way you're going to be able to build bases and homesteads. Will have they're looking at a god view for that. What are your thoughts about the Hercules C2? I'm excited for it. I think it's a cool ship. The current verdict for the C2 is much more likely a Q1 2021 release at the moment. Have you purchased Cyberpunk? Yes, I purchased it last year in May. May of last year. Do you think the Better Merchantman getting a speculated size increase? I mean, they've said it's got a size increase, CIG, for the concept. So, is due to marketplace on the ship not being able to fit? Well, it could be for lots of different reasons, including that. Given that trader gameplay is so popular, have CIG talked about increasing outpost volumes or even demand for stims? Would they realize how boring it is to wait on server ticks to buy and resell? So yeah. So much more dynamic economy, a much more sensible way of doing buy and sell orders in the future. Yes. Do you think there will be some sort of storage module that can go in cargo ships that can store data? Maybe. It depends on how they want to do. So data running and data as cargo, it might be that you need actual proper computer systems, but maybe there can be cargo as data crates as well. Maybe, question mark? When will NPCs sit? When they get stable servers. So they've sort of fixed it a few times before, but it breaks because of server ticks and some other stuff. I am excited for Cyberpunk. I'm planning to probably do a stream of it when it comes out. When do you think they will add beam weapons? I don't know, but they have got beam weapons planned. And what else have we got here? What's the deal with quantum travelling into planet surfaces? Makes walking cargo in the Caterpillar too dangerous. Yes, it is a little annoying when it just goes, and now I'm going to ram you into the planet, lol. Obviously a bug. Yeah, so I'm planning... I'll work it out later today what's happening with Cyberpunk, and I'll put it up on my social media or I'll post it on my YouTubes. Modularity. It's not unreasonable to want red with just one medbed and more cargo space, or more space on any ship for SU. I'm a bit confused what you mean by that. Do you think that the Idris P should get its size 7 turret back, considering that the Kraken size guns are all one size bigger, excluding size 10? So I think it's got mounts that you can probably set up with lots of different things. Its main thing is having that rail gun on its nose, and being a carrier of ships, and obviously it's got some other turrets around. So do you think there will be quests or missions for rare ship components and armor? Yes. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a plan. As concierge with a surplus of credits, why can I not gift a ship to a friend with those credits? Yeah, so there were reasons why they made it so store credit bought ships couldn't be gifted. You can purchase a ship with real money, like a small ship, and then upgrade that ship with store credit further, and then gift it. I think that still works. You think we'll get DLSS and ray tracing? So the thing is that I don't think they're going to want to support anything that is focused on NVIDIA or AMD or whatever. They're going to want to be hardware neutral. One of the reasons they're pursuing Vulkan. So they might subsume and use some tech if it becomes sensible to do so in the future, but they might not. When was the last Alpha UEC wipe? It was quite a long time ago. And we're not expecting a wipe for 3.12. What is the largest ship or ship size you expect would be flyable solo with the use of AI blades? Hull. I don't know, Hully. I don't know. Lots of ships, potentially. When are we going to have to pay UEC in the future to go through customs on plats? Are we going to have to pay? We don't 100% know. I expect there's going to be taxes and probably fees for landing and stuff like that as well. That's one of the ways they'll probably deal with too many players in an area. They'll just keep on upping the amount that they tax you for landing places or dealing with your cargo or whatever. So they'll incentivize players to move around. You're going to be able to walk through cities with many NPCs that live there. Sort of. The full city is not going to be modelled or anything. It's just going to be major landing zones and some other areas around that. So you'll be able to see like a living, breathing city, but you're not going to be able to walk down and walk all of the streets or anything like that. Are you going to be able to... that's literally what I just talked about. With all the assets for the Drake Corsair and gameplay most notably in game already, you think they'll finish it soon? It depends on their priorities. It's hard to tell what CIG are thinking at the moment with ships. Has there been any news on the progress of Crusader Orison? It's planned to still be a Q1, Q2 split release for next year. When do you think we'll get the Taurus? Again, I think it's going to be a Q1 or Q2 2021 ship. I was hoping we'd get it this year, but it looks much less likely now. When do you expect to see commercial flights? Mainly because the CIG basically said they're not working on it currently. They paused it because they were working on something else. When do you expect to see commercial flights and that sort of stuff? They want to have them in game. I suspect we'll get the the Genesis Starliner around the same time. But I'm not sure when we'll get them. Which manufacturer needs more love, in your opinion? I don't know. They're all getting nicely fleshed out, I think. Arco? How far out do you expect the new roadmap to go? Probably about a year, but it will be much less accurate beyond the next proximate quarter. What ships do they have left to build before they release the game? There's a few, and we talk about this pretty much every time, but I think it's a fair comment. Ship tracker on my website. Need to update the ship tracker. The capital ship Citrus and Jaffa need to be put in game, although they're mostly finished. The Battle Merchantman, the Hull series, the Orion, the Constellation Taurus, the Redeemer, Genesis Starliner, Endeavour, Crucible, Polaris, Nova Tank, Pioneer, Vulture, the X1 series, the Apollo series, the F8s, the Hercules series, the Krakens, Santok Yai, the Vulcan, the Ares, Corsair, the Nautilus, the SRV Tracked Beam tow ship, and the Ranger series of bikes, I think, and the G12s. Obviously the Talon, which is coming in 3.12. Last ship to be released, Endeavour. I think that's probably pretty close to being pretty accurate in my opinion as well. Ryan's pretty big, but they'll probably be able to get it. They'll probably want it for Squadron 42 or something. Maybe Squadron 42 Part 2 or Episode 2. If I had something I was making for use with Star Citizen that I wanted to show you, how would you prefer I send it? Drop me an email when we chat about it. Easyberry. Richard BoredGamer.co.uk will get through to me. Any mentions of Fauna coming out soon? They have a dedicated team or teams working on animals in game at the moment. They're working on like the Fire Crab, the Yeti, the cows, the Ranta, that sort of stuff. When will we have reflections in our ship the mirrors? We will at some point. I just don't know when. Any more thoughts about bringing back the old channel intro? Oh, we could. I don't think I actually discussed it with Sin. How much is in-game insurance? It's not in-game properly yet. Do you think we'll start seeing... Do you think starting 2022 we'll start seeing systems per update? Oh, maybe. They're building out studio. There's literally a new studio, the new Turbulent studio that is building Star Systems as one of its major focuses for Star Citizen. So hopefully we'll start to see them bring out loads of ships. Do you have the link to that schedule that included ships? So it's like, I do. You can see it on Reddit typically. It's stolen from Reddit and Sedman and ITO and people like that. They do these updates. If you just go on my website, BoredGamer.co.uk, there's a ship tracker link at the top in resources. And then there's links to the originals in there as well. But I need to update it with the latest one. What job or profession do you think will have the first full gameplay loop? Mining. When will they increase the amount of people on servers? I would expect to see server increases maybe in 2 batches. Maybe one around iCache for them to test some stuff, and then loads more when they have server meshing, and hopefully server meshing by the end of next year. So. What initially attracted you to Star Citizen? A couple of my mates had bought in with capital ships and were interested in it, so I did some more research into it, and I went, oh, this could actually be a pretty big game. I played a lot of Eve, so I was like, oh, this scratches my itch for the sort of content I wanted more than Eve did. But it seemed like iCache will make a lot of game possible. Yeah, it's 100% needed for the game. And more dynamic systems. Do you think that we'll see that tech in other games in the future? Well, yes, but you sort of see that, yeah, something similar. Do you think the Banner Merchantman should gain another turret on his belly? I don't know how they're going to change the Banner Merchantman, actually, because there might be some other tweaks to it. Do you think we'll see an increase in the price for the M2 following the CT release? Yeah, when the ships come out, they'll probably go up a little bit in price. Not much, though. Hey, Bored, do you think the Carrack's cargo bods will be useful as modules? I think that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be modular, but you're supposed to be able to, I think, both drop them and have different types of pod there, potentially. Restricted zone rework. When will we be able to feel safe when landing again, if ever? They need to stop touching it. They need to have all the systems in place to support it, with law systems, with defences. But also, I think if you get killed in a safe area, a safe landing zone, that you shouldn't really suffer much in the way of penalties, because they can treat you there medically. You're supposed to be under the protection of that area, so they should deal with your insurance, that sort of stuff. Do you see what I mean? So I think there just needs to be all these systems in place, and you want the defences there, you want the security there. I expect them to be tweaking some of the stuff in the Star Runner. So the Mercury Star Runner should have its fuel sorted and a few other bugs sorted in 3.12. Are we expecting a wipe to come with 4.0? I would expect a wipe with 4.0. The reason for that is because I think server meshing is a big endeavour. Do you think it's going to be fun watching people fail at trying to solo capital ships? Yes. Because if people try and solo capital ships and fly into dangerous areas, those capital ships are going to be stolen. Yeah, I'm expecting a full persistence wipe for 4.0, but that's not a confirmation. Do you think that the concept ships without docking collars will keep them when they release, or will they add them to all ships that you can walk in? I think a lot of ships will get them. Are in-game bought ship wipes going to be less common than Alpha UEC wipes? Typically, they're both the same sort of thing. Alpha UEC and ship wipes are typically just your assets, although they are pretty uncommon now, those resets, which is good. Are AI blades for turrets for both remote and manned turrets, or just remote? We don't 100% know. I think they're for both. I'm going to bio, then I'll answer the last couple of questions, and then we'll talk about the 400i again. Hey! Got loads of got all my computer parts next to me. I just need the graphics card, the CPU, and the power supply. The power supply is supposed to be in stock, but it's not. And everything else is ready. Ready to go. Do war bonds with lifetime insurance become available at ship launch? If it's already happened once at concept. What? If you board a concept ship, you get it when the ship launches, yes. The death of a spaceman's focus on party gameplay. What mechanics do you think will be added to support solo play? Good question. Armors that might maybe even like revive you. Drugs and things that you can stab yourself with to get you back up, because you'll be down and out or bleeding or injured on the floor, and you might be able to do some actions. Search and rescue stuff so that you can request aid, or that automatically requests aid if you go down. But also there's going to be people that you can run NPC crew and stuff like that as well. So buddies, NPC buddies. Do you think we'll be able to use slave drones to fighters and use them as wingmates? We're not 100% sure how drones are going to work, because they've talked about them being semi-automated, so that you can control them, but you can also potentially semi-automate them. We're not sure about combat drones yet. Are they going to include throwing up, and will it include chunks? Nice. Probably. Rough. How long do you think it will take them to finish the Redeemer? I think we could see it next year. What's your favourite manufacturer of ships in Star Citizen? It changes all the time. Like, I love Dracon paper. When do you think we will see some Reclaimer gameplay? Good question. I think we're going to see tracked beams come online. I think we'll see Tier 1 or Tier 0 salvage. But Tier 0 salvage is probably not going to be Reclaimer salvage, because it's more salvage. It takes salvage, puts it into its mouth, and crunches it up. 10 years insurance is good, yes. It's a ridiculously long time. Do you think there will be a cargo ship with the same capacity as the Hull C with internal cargo space, so people can't shoot off the cargo? I don't think there's going to be much more in the way of cargo ships in the game. Maybe a Xi'an cargo ship. But can you petition the CCP to not wipe with iCache so that players explode their thousands of items everywhere? So I want Cargo 2.0 desperately, so that we don't have server issues so much, especially with lots of cargo flying around. Lorian! Hey, I am able to hop in for only a little bit, but how far do you think they will expand ground combat gameplay? Do you think we will be supporting more and maybe even including artillery. Yes, so we already have some artillery pieces in game with like the Blister. So yes, I do think that the ground gameplay is going to be very, 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 very extensive. Bases, ground gameplay, theatres of war stuff, combined arms. It's all. There is a major part of that is ground gameplay, and I do think you'll probably see other artillery pieces for it. Yes. Or things that function in a similar way. Will we ever get features as polished as your beautiful head? Yes. But it takes time. Do you think we can spray custom decals on the sides of ships? So I think that's what CIG... Definitely decals to some extent. Custom decals? Maybe. I don't know. There's probably issues with custom decals. But maybe decals that can be vetted somehow, like your org logo. Maybe. I think there will be a load of decals you can choose from to put on your ships, though. Watching new players, their big frustration is the map. Are they going to ever fix this? Yes. They are literally reworking the star map at the moment. Do you think that they will add more ship manufacturers in the future? Yes, I think they will. Would you before a size 5 torpedo module for the Carrack, considering if you find yourself far away from help, you may need more firepower? I think I'm alright with the Carrack's armament. Will the whole Cutlass Black paint and stuff be fixed? What do you mean? What do you want? What do you want from me? It will be at some point. Everything will be fixed at some point, hopefully. Question, do you know if they plan on bringing back the ability to see the pyro system from the standard system like it was in CitizenCon 2017? What? What? What do you mean? What are you talking about? We will be able to travel to the pyro system, and they will be putting pyro in the game. I'm hoping that's going to be at the end of next year. Right, I want to talk a little bit more about the 400i again. So let's go through 400i and some of these leaks for it. So, my beautiful assistant Zinnia, she made this little silhouette of the new ship that has been talked about on Star Citizen Leaks and on Reddit. So, this is all leaks, rumour, and speculation at this stage, so bear that in mind. The pictures may be faked, they might be hoaxes, they might not be exactly what's going on, but they might be. Maybe they're some of the concept work of the ship. But there is an expectation that there is a new straight-to-flyable ship for 3.12, and that is the 400i. And that's the best-looking pic we've had of it so far, at least what we assume it looks like. And it appears to be a ship that is sort of like trying to compete with the smaller crewed ships like the Constellation, but also there was talk of the Freelancer and the Cutlass Black. But it looks to be more Constellation competing with that. It's supposed to have room for a G12 rover and a ramp for that. It's going to have belly cargo. It's this sort of luxury, almost Constellation type ship. I don't think it looks as heavily armed as the Constellation. It's got a rear turret. It's sort of room for 3 crew. And I quite like the idea and look of the ship. It looks very much like a boat. It's viable for a ship that could come out in 3.12. But as I said, this is not a confirmation. This is 100% there. I was expecting the ship to be $190 to $250 based on if it comes with a G12 rover or not automatically. But it's sort of room for 3 crew, a captain, and two other beds. It's sort of like got all the sort of Constellation-esque facilities that you'd expect to see. But it's very much trying to go on to that sort of similar role to that of a Constellation, but with more of a luxury feel. And more for the touring. Do we think it's going to have a whole series of 400 ships? Or is it just the 400i? We don't know. There might be some variants of it. That's very possible. We don't know its price. We don't know if it's a real leak, although it looks reasonably likely. Question mark. Yeah, some people think it looks beautiful. Some people hate it with the way it looks. It's asymmetrical as well. Like got fin on that side, not on this side, and things like that going on with it. I like the idea of the remote rear turret. I like the idea of it being multi-role, small crew multi-role for people that want that more luxury experience in the sort of like these cool ships. Yeah, I love the fact that the idea that it's got a G12 rover. So it was ranging from 45 meters to 65 meters in the leaks as well. That's what people are saying. Obviously, it's quite 20 meters is quite a difference, but I suppose that nose of it is sort of almost irrelevant because it's sort of like up to the cockpit there. You can see it's like the internal space of the ship, I think. What system do you think will come after Pyro? Nyx. Almost certainly the Nyx system, building towards the Odin system, which is the system for that Squadron 42 is largely set in, at least episode 1 is. Hello, hello. So yeah, I mean, I like the idea that it's... some people have said this could be faked or might be one of the concept art of the ship, but not actually what the ship looks like anymore, potentially to flush out leakers and things like that. That's also a possibility, so please take these with a heap of speculation and salt and rumour, and that is all it is at the moment. It's very plausible. This could be a straight flyable 3.12 ship. I wouldn't be getting one. I'm not sure if... I mean, there's sort of a space for something like this in game. I like more choice for this sort of range of ships, but it's competing with so many other ships already. There's the Cutlass Black, there's the Freelancer, there's the Constellations, there's the Corsair, and then moving up to like the Carrack and the Mercury Star Runner as well now. And yeah, Origin 400i is the expectation for this, what this leak's about. But are we getting it? Are we not getting it? Don't know. If it is a straight flyable ship in 3.12, then I'll buy a load for giveaway, or maybe not a load. Okay, out of curiosity, if you had the choice between a Mercury Star Runner or this, as the leaks stand with it, sort of like a luxury constellation, what would you go for? So we'll be getting updates to the roadmap later this year, which should go well past the next few quarters. Almost entirely for me, it's Mercury Star Runner. Like, I'm not a massive fan of this ship. I mean, I like it. I think it looks pretty. But the Star Runner is probably my favourite ship in the game at the moment, and I think it has a huge amount of function. I think I'm largely supported by most of the people in chat, but I mean, people that would buy this probably will be hiding now because they're like, I want to hide my disgrace. As I said, it might all be hoaxed or not accurate as a leak. But I think it's a cool looking ship. It's the most boat looking ship we've had, for sure. Could it be a bit racing-y? I definitely could see a racing version of it, but it would be a pretty big racer, eh? If it's sort of like... You're not a fan of the visuals. Okay, yeah. I think a lot of people like it and a lot of people don't. I think Starsters and Leaks refer to it as the ugly duckling. I mean, it's not going to grow into a beautiful swan or goose, whatever how that duckling was. Just kick it in the head. No, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Don't do that. That's not how the ugly duckling goes. I did like Goose Game though. Huh. Are there details on its specs? Not really. Size 2 quantum drive was suggested. It's got a cargo bay in its belly. It's got a garage for a G12 rover. Assumedly, you can put a rock in there instead if you wanted, with a little ramp on it. It's supposed to be focused at the sort of like somewhere between Freelancer, Cutlass Black, and Constellations, but luxury. So multi-role ship, rear remote turret, 3 crewmen. So 1 captain, 2 crewmen, and beds for 3. Yeah, a lot of people sort of like the idea of multi-role, multi-class ships. for sure. But I think that I love my Mercury Starrunner so much that most other ships that sort of are anywhere near that, I just go, nah. I mean, to be honest, I like my Mercury Starrunner more than I like my Carrack. So that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. You know when the 600i is going to be available again. It'll go on sale again at some point. They are going to be doing some tweaking of that 600i. I think they're giving it a docking collar as well, is what they've said. How much cargo do you think the 400i will hold? Oh. That's a good question. Let me... So I think it's going to have a garage. Maybe around 80 SCU? Maybe? Yeah? Seem reasonable? 60 to 80, maybe? That's sort of my expectation. When do you think we'll see data running? I think we'll see data running next year. I think data is cargo data running. I can't talk about the specifics of 3.12. So the ability to reorganize your inventory and interact with the rock is in 3.11. 400i medical bed. I have not seen medical facilities mentioned for the ship. I think it would be cool if it had them, but I think a load of ships would be better with medical facilities, but they can't give all the ships medical facilities. They basically allow you to respawn there, and that's actually quite powerful, especially at the moment. So, what are we waiting on in order to get the hull C? Cargo 2.0, iCache, station docking, and I think most of the other stuff is solved now, although the Morphin Physics Grid stuff might still need a bit more work. Oh, thank you very much, Star Citizen Leaks. Here are the known specs for the 400i, so the known leaked specs, so bear that in mind. 32 by 56 by 12.5 meters. Turrets 2 size 3 and 2 size 4s, with gimbaled size 3s for the pilot. 3 size 2 power plants. 1 size 3 shield, 3 size 2 coolers, and a size 2 quantum drive. Okay. 3 size 2 power plants? Size 3, that seems a bit eclectic and a bit random, some of those. Okay, well, take those as you want. Thank you very much, Execute. I assume that's you, Execute. Appreciated. Mercury Starrunner does only have one door, an entry and exit point, the ramp. But it sounds like they said that was a mistake, so hopefully they'll give us a entry-exit point with a ladder as well, even if it's from the vents or something. Maybe it'll be in the scanning room. There's room there for it. As a matter of opinion, in the game's current state, which is more worth it between the 600i and the touring variant? Oh, come on. They're both really expensive ships. Neither are worth it. No, those ships are worth it. And we want to see the rework, really, before you... Oh, that sort of thing. What ship do you think is best for doing the new box missions? So... What do you mean new box missions? If it's an either car, I think I can't answer it. If you're talking about volatile cargo boxes that we're expecting to see in 3.12 that I mentioned before, Mercury Starrunner's probably pretty good, to be honest. It depends how that stuff plays out, to be honest. I need to actually do the missions, and then I can work out something a bit better. If you were to make a ballpark estimate of how far in the future and what components of development would be required before naysayers and folks wanting more of the game could be happy. Naysayers will never be happy. Stop trying to convince people or defend the game. You don't need to do that. You can enjoy the game in your own way and play it with your mates, and that's all good. You don't need to echo chamber it. You don't need to convince other people it. You don't need to be right. You can just enjoy. Will you be playing Cyberpunk? Yes, I will be. I'm going to talk to Zin about it after this and make some form of plan, because I suspect I will be streaming it. I'll let her stream it as well if she wants. I suspect she will want to as well. Maybe, question mark. How much pressure do you think a successful 400 model would put on the 600 rework? Well, they're going to be doing a little bit of a rework. So, have they mentioned different prison types? Well, there's going to be different prisons in different systems, so yes. Where does the G12 come from? As far as I know, I only know of a vehicle bay which could also indicate hover bikes. It was Stars and Leaks said it has a garage for a G12. I believe it might have been Aria, but which one of those sources said that? Could the 400i carry a rock? I would expect it to be able to switch the G12 Rover out for a rock. Yes, that would be my expectation. It would not be funny if the 400i turned out to be an Argo ship. I would throw a tantrum. Right. Any other quick questions? Because I have a leg of lamb in the oven. Did you mean for me to whisper you my email? EasyBerry, email me at rich@boardgamer.co.uk and we'll discuss stuff on there, if that's cool. And I'll do it when I'm back from dinner. Right. I appreciate you being around, Execute, to answer some questions as well. That was very appreciated. I thought you were having a delicious pizza. No, someone was asking me about pizza. I'm doing a roast dinner tonight for my family. Do you think they released the G12 at the same time as the 400i? Not that we're aware of. Is the 400i a good starter ship if your only other ship is a C2? I mean, neither of them are really starter ships. You know what I mean? Sort of expected to run with larger crews than just one of you. I think having a solo ship in your repertoire is a good idea for a starter ship. Star Citizen's Facebook page is played with haters. Given you are a dedicated Star Citizen channel, how do you keep all of the riffraff out of your comments? Have you moderation? No, I don't. Very little moderation on my channel. What I'd say is that people are entitled to their opinions, and the more reasonable you are with people, the less they feel the need to troll. And also, if people comment on my videos, even if it's a hateful comment or, you know, an angry comment or a troll comment, it actually still gives me more interaction on my channel, which benefits me. What I'd say is people are allowed to have their opinions, and if they're uncivil, well, then they'll probably get moderated and purged. There are certain words which are automatically checked by the auto mod, and YouTube is actually getting quite a lot better at that. But I've not had many problems with my stream or my YouTube comments. I think I'm very lucky with that, but I also think I've harboured a relatively good community, and hopefully, well, people are more than welcome to troll, but you know, it's their cross to bear, isn't it? They want to troll. So Star Citizen Links just stated a garage. Well, maybe I've made it up that it's a G12 in there. That's why I say it's rumour, speculation. I added bits. It's Star Citizen Leaks Whisper. No, I saw it must have been Aria's Leaks. I saw that. Actually, let's see. I've got it all written down. I've got all my source material written down. Let's have a look. Hater. Hater said, the garage is separate from cargo and is made to store a single G12 series rover. Hater posted that in the Star Citizen Leak News channel. I've got all my source written down. Is your board org named Borg? No, it's named BoredGamer, but I do like the board org Borg. That should be better. I think so. I'm not entirely sure the current SCU of the Merchantman, because I think it originally had 3,500 concepted, but then they scaled down the cargo sizing to the new system, but didn't update the page. And then when John Crew recently said that the cargo hasn't changed in size, might not have been referring to 3,500 SCU. But I might be wrong. Maybe it does have a huge amount of SCU. Do you fly with voice attack? I have previously, and I will be setting it up again. And I do use HCS voice packs. I have most of them, or a lot of them. The Brian Blessed one, can't remember what it's called. It's the one I was using. Do you think the risk versus reward is worth doing cargo running rather than mining? So no. So risk versus reward in my head, mining is much better to do because at the moment you run the risk of losing all your cargo to a 30k. I don't get why you'd be Vicardi if it gives you less things to talk about on your channel. Then it means that it's your hobby, which limits your professional side. No offense. No, it's okay. You're more welcome to have that opinion. I constantly have sort of cognitive dissonance about being an Vicardi member. Because does it give me anything? Well, technically, it gives me the ability to be able to plan out content and work out a lot more what's going on with the patch. Do I wish I could talk more freely about Evocati leaks that come out? Well, technically, I think I would be able to, because the sort of NDA sort of says you should protect the patch. It's weird, but I don't think they'd have a leg to stand on, in my opinion, if they tried to enforce people not covering something that's already been Evocati leaked. But that is just my opinion. That is not legal advice, nor am I going to start leaking Evocati information, because I will respect the spirit and the wording of the Evocati of the NDA agreement I signed. So, what got you into Star Citizen? What made you keep following it? I sort of was doing Diablo 3 content and Titanfall and stuff, and was quite enjoying that. And then I sort of saw this project that not many people were covering. I was like, this is probably going to be quite a big game, and I really started to like it more and more. I used to do a load of EVE Online, and this scratched the itches that I wanted from that gameplay more. So I just quite enjoy what I do. Will you be able to use a big cargo bay if the entrance is big enough as a makeshift Idris hangar? What? Yeah, fuck it, put an Idris in there. How much can you make in maxed out cat cargo run these days? I don't know the current min-max. When do you think we'll get homesteads? I don't know, actually. I mean, they're working on that stuff, so I think we'll start to see some more of those homestead points of interest and some updated points of interest in 2021, when we'll be able to build bases probably a little bit further out. Greg's in space when? We'll probably see Greg's in surf stations or something similar to Greg's. I mean, Twins is sort of like a upmarket Greg's. Do you think CIG will be announcing any new ships for this Christmas in the ship sales? Well, potentially that 400i. Right. What do you get for the loaner for the Perseus? I think it is a Harbinger and a Hammerhead, I think. Bear with me. Loaner. Ship learner matrix. Perseus. It is a Hammerhead and a Vanguard Harbinger. Yes, I was correct. How have a good dinner. Enjoy. Thank you very much. I will be dashing off in a second. That's all right. We've done that. I think we've answered everything. Thank you very much for chucking a load of money at me and subbing. Loads of subs recently. Thank you very much for Execute turning up as well and providing some extra stats on that 400i leak stuff. But as I said, with the 400i, take it as what it is. I'll leak. And rumour and salt and all that, whatever else you want to take with it to help flavour it. Because we don't know if it's 100% for the 3.12. We don't know 100% it's a real leak. And it could be different from what it looks like, even if it is. So just be aware. Do you think we will... when do you think we'll be getting the Titan suits? I'm hoping soon, but it's probably a while out. I'm excited for the Titan suits. I think they're going to be pushing for them for Theatres of War as well as Squadron. So, but yes, I will go and host someone else, and I want to talk to Zin about what we're going to be doing for Cyberpunk. That's the one. Star Citizen. We are going to... we're going to host the Dark Law. I have not hosted him for a while, and I love him. He's genuinely talented and fun, and very good at low ground flying with his joysticks. Give the man, this beautiful bald man, some love. Thank you so much for watching me today. I genuinely appreciate the hustle and people turning up, asking questions. It really helps. Thanks for all the subs. Thanks for people chucking a load of money at me. I love your faces. Peace out. Take care. Love you all. Hopefully the 400i leaks are real. Hopefully 3.12 is going to be a fantastic patch with all the fixes in the world. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, and if I don't see you before, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that sort of jazz. We have got some stuff coming towards the end of the year that's sort of been rumoured to me as well, semi-secretively, like, ooh, some cool stuff coming to the end of the year for you, Bored. So hopefully that'll be cool for people. Yeah. Peace out, guys. You take care. See you soon. We should have the 3.12 PTU Wave 1 end of next week, question mark, end of this week? Within the next couple of weeks. Right. I'm going to go eat.